Howdy do. I'm keeping my promise. Remember, I said Wednesday we might do a live. Well, here I am. It's Wednesday. Let's see. Let's see if anybody shows up. This is not my regular night, but I thought being in lockdown and everything, it's a nice little break. You might be sitting at home and being bored, or you might be. I know it's Thanksgiving in the States. Is it Thanksgiving today in the States? And if it is, right, if it is, you might be bored. You might be sitting on that couch right now being entertained by me instead of being entertained by the family. Sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need to be distracted a little bit from our family, right? Sometimes we just kind of have to separate ourselves from the pack, right? Separate ourselves from the pack. But let's see if anybody pops in from our regular crew. Let's see, maybe we'll pick up one or two people tonight from a new crew, like a brand new crew that'll introduce new people to our brand. I have great moderators on this channel. Maybe Andrew will be here. Maybe Owen will be here. We'll see. Maybe Nancy will pop in tonight. For those of you who didn't come in on Sunday night on our live, Nancy got some really Oh, hi, Jonathan. Hi, Jonathan. Thanks for popping in. I was just going to say, our girl Nancy in Seattle got some miracles this week, right? She got a couple of really, really good ones. Number one that she got miracle is the judges declared that her building can't be shut down, except at least for the duration of the pandemic. They're not allowed to send her out of the store. So she's pretty excited about that, right? But then, you guys, you won't believe this. Well, maybe we'll wait to see if he pops in and goes live with us. I know Nancy will pop in if she can, because she was quite anxious to talk to people on her own, because she got a second miracle from one of our subscribers, one of our followers here on Chatters Live, did something really, really nice for her. But we'll see who pops into the live tonight. And if Nancy comes in, it would be a perfect opportunity to say her thank yous we'll let her see. So as my week is progressing on, as you can see, I'm still in my house, right? I did have a conversation with the landlord. They want me out. They were very surprised that I hadn't found anything yet. And I said, well, you know what? I've got $1,000. I got $1,000 to either stay here, right? Or I can find something, maybe a room or something, at the very least, like I'm going to need a hotel room, but I've got this cat, right? So the few places that I've been looking at, it's the cat is the problem, right? They don't want my cat, even though and a lot of them just are university students that want to share, right? And they want to share with other university students because it makes them accountability partners, right? Doing the homework and getting the studies in and stuff. So what can I do? I'm still out there looking. Andrew, you're here. Hi, Andrew. You got a notification, did you? Yeah, Nancy's been trying to get a hold of you. Did you get my email, Andrew? Did you get my email? I sent you an email. We'll see. I'd like to know that because Nancy's freaking out right now. She's going right out of her gourd. Oh, perfect, right? Yeah, she's going, Nancy's going right out of her gourd right now. You saved her butt so well. You're just an absolute sweetheart. She actually went live with me the other day to talk about it, right? I'm just going to see if I can bend my camera down just a little bit more, just a little bit. There we go. Oh, now everybody can see. You can see my gold dress. I'm on a diet, people. I'm on a diet, And this is one of the dresses I got at work. Isn't it magnificent? Isn't it magnificent? Oh, I just absolutely love this dress. But it's too tight on me. The dress itself is not tight, but it's the slip inside. It's like 2 sizes smaller than the dress is, right? So I guess the dress is supposed to have that kind of a box look on it. But it's so pretty. I really want it, but I can't even get it over my head. So I'm just leaving it there. And it's my gold dress, right? Isn't it? I don't know what it is. It's a designer dress. It's worth a few $100s. Andrew, I got it for $2.20. I got this dress for $2.20. It drove me crazy. I stared at it all week and I was taking my chances to be able to get it on a sale. And that day that sale hit, I waited all day and prayed all day that it wouldn't sell. And at the end of my shift, it was still there and I just scooped it up so fast. Right? I was really nervous. I think it's an absolutely stunning dress. I think it's a stunning dress. But when I brought it home and tried it on, it was way too small for me, right? I didn't think it was going to be. I thought maybe it might have been a little bit tighter, but it was very much tight. But now I'm on this 90 days. 90 days. I committed to 90 days, no sugar, right? So I'm eating lots of meat. And meat is very expensive, but I'm doing it anyway because I do hard things, right? I do hard things. And wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice to feel really good throughout the winter? Because I know my weight is tied up with my self-worth, how I feel about myself, right? My sexuality is, my weight that's why I was so big to start with, because I was trying to hide. And I was purposely trying to be unattractive, right? But that's, not getting help. What an easy way. Pack on 100 pounds. Any woman out there, pack on 100 pounds and you won't get that attention, right? And I knew that. Right? That I could just be alone with my thoughts and move forward, right? Which is what I did, right? I just got into my studies and it just took me on a different path. And I know I wouldn't have been here right now. I would have been married. I would have had kids. I would have had different kinds of responsibilities and stuff if I had kept my weight off, right? I had cheese yesterday. But there's so many calories in cheese. And on this one, if you're going to cut out the sugar, you might as well make it a diet, right? And there's a lot of fat in cheese, a lot of fat. So the fat will make it so you don't lose weight. Even though on lots of diets, I know on my protein diet, when I lost that 160 pounds that first time, I ate a ton of cheese. Right? I ate a ton of cheese and I do crave cheese. Sometimes, like I like cheese and watermelon. I love cheese and honeydew melon. I like cheese and cantaloupes. I like cheese and grapes, right? With a nice cup of tea, right? Maybe some yogurt, right? And it's true, right? And it is, because I think what people do is that they've learned over the years that they can avoid other addictions that actually affect their emotions and their reasoning, right? So like alcoholism and being a drug addict, right? These really, really harsh addictions, but they take on these, I call them sub-addictions. They're sub-addictions. They're addictions. They're just as devastating because they do the exact same job to your self-esteem. But for some reason, they don't really mess with your faculties like immediately, like the alcohol and the drugs do, right? Because if you're going to be a teacher and you get out there, and actually it's funny that you say something like that, because I was actually on this topic earlier in the week, right? So it is top of mind about, being under the influence and putting our content out there, right? And being in this industry, and I would assume that a lot of thought leaders out there coming through, would end up with a lot of issues, a lot of abandonment issues, a lot of self-love issues. There would be a lot of there would be a lot of issues that people would have these subcategory addictions underneath, just because they would want to keep their faculties with them, because you can move forward with an addiction like obesity, unlike moving forward with, say, alcoholism, because it's not like, it wouldn't be like that I could come on live right now after drinking all afternoon, right? I don't even know if people do that. I did see one urban explorer drinking, right? Drinking in his car, and one time on YouTube. But that was only once, right? That was only once that I saw something like that. So I don't think it's the commonality for people to be online giving out advice and stuff, totally smashed out of their faces, right? Oh, really? Those are the glass pipes, right? Those are the ones in the clear glass, Andrew. Those are crack pipes, right? I've seen documentaries on that, and I did have friends, right? But I wasn't hanging out with them when they were doing that stuff. They were hanging out with a different crowd, right? I had some close friends that actually got addicted to crack and cocaine. And it was really, really, really hard for them for years and years and years. They destroyed marriages. They destroyed their jobs. They destroyed their relationships. They destroyed their life completely with these things, right? And it's interesting though, because they did overcome these addictions in the end, right? They did overcome these addictions, but I guess you're truly never not an addict once you're an addict, right? Hi, Melvin. I hope you're having a good night tonight. A bong. Aren't those the ones that look like the bosses? Bongs are like the boss ones, right? See, because I know what a bong is. Oh, I definitely know what a bong is. But I just thought the other ones, because sometimes I see those little pipes and they're just made out of clear glass, right? So I don't know if they come like in all different styles. I'm assuming you can use any kind of pipe. But yeah, addictions is really, really, really prevalent absolutely everywhere. It's how people are coping with their emotional problems, right? Right. I agree with you, Jonathan. You're right. That's exactly what they're used for, the bongs, right? And then the pipes, then they would be used for the crack then. Oh, and tobacco, like smoking like cigarette tobacco? That's interesting. That's it. My dad smoked a lot of marijuana, and he was a great thinker, and he never let it stop him from doing anything. And actually, I don't think I even noticed the difference between my dad being high and my dad being straight, because my dad was just an intellectual character anyway, no matter what, right? Yeah, I think also my dad was doing it to help keep his stress down, because my dad had congenital heart disease, and he was dealing with a lot of stress, right? He had a wife and 4 daughters who needed a roof over their head. He was a gambling addict, so he had the highs and lows of that. And I know those highs and lows. I know those highs and lows that my dad had. I remember one time that he took us to Vegas. I remember he took us to Vegas. Now, I don't remember how old I was, but I'm going to assume I was maybe 6 or 7 years old. So all the rest of my sisters were probably a year under each of us. So the youngest one was probably definitely a baby. Actually, I remember my mom holding her as a baby. But I remember my mom dressing us all up. We stayed in the Sands Motel. Every time we went down to Reno, we stayed in the Sands Motel. I had a swimming pool so the kids can keep themselves entertained while my parents went gambling, right? But I remember that my mom dressed us all up in the most cutest little outfits and put pink curls. Oh, these pink. I don't know if anybody out there remembers these curls in our hair, but you know the ones with the bobby pins, and you would take strands of hair and roll them around in our fingers, and then she would really, really tight, and then she would take the bobby pin and she would like close it, and then we'd have to sleep with this beehive of bobby pins in our hair. Oh, they hurt so bad. You couldn't even move your head when you were sleeping, right? But then in the morning, my mom would undo all those bobby pins and we'd have the most beautiful curls and everything. Well, you can tell my hair is naturally curly already, but as a little kid, you could imagine I had a serious afro when my mother put my hair up in those pink curls, right? But I remember her doing this to all of us kids. And I remember when we were going into the building, I'm pretty sure my mother made us all cry, like, screamed at us and stuff and got us all worked up. And then we walked in with her and Dad. And my dad actually had to go to the casino office and tell him the story of how he had no money. My dad gambled absolutely everything. We lived in Vancouver, Canada. We were in Reno, Nevada, and he had spent all the money, didn't even leave gas money to get us home, right? To get us home. So yeah, Mama dressed us all up and we were all bawling our eyes out and everything. And he had to go to the casino manager and actually ask the casino manager for a loan for some money so that he could get us back home. And they gave it to him too. The casino, the Harrah's, I remember it was the Harrah's Club. Yeah. And they actually did that for my dad, those casino managers. I don't even think they asked my dad to send him any money or anything. They just did it as a kindness, right, for my dad. And they gave him a couple $100 to get us all home. But in the 70s, that's all it would have cost, right? Maybe $100 for gas, and then, a hotel room they would think of, and some groceries, right, for along the way, some treats for the kids and stuff. So yeah, though I remember the casino managers giving my dad some big chunks of money. So in my family, there were a lot of my stresses, and all of those stresses, my dad put himself under. Like, we didn't have to live that way. My dad had a good paying job. Many good paying jobs, but he was a commercial fisherman. My dad made the big bucks, right? Like, that television show, The Deadliest Catch. He actually brought home this crab one time. It was a king crab. Now, you don't see those in this movie or that television series, The Deadliest Catch. But I am not lying when I say that my dad brought a crab home one time, where the legs actually went out from the living room, and he put the whole body on the kitchen table, and the whole body took up the whole kitchen table and a little bit more, because the sides of the crab started falling off, right? And started oozing and stuff. Everything. He brought all his friends in and out. Like, we never had friends at our house. Like, my dad never invited his friends or anything to the house. But, when he came home from this fishing trip, he invited everybody over to the house to see this stupid crab that he had caught in the net when he was fishing up in the Bella Coola, up northern BC, right up in the ocean. And it turned out to be some kind of crazy king crab that he had caught, right? Some crazy king crab that he had caught. And and this thing all oozed all over the house, and my mom screamed at him to get rid of it and everything. And yeah, she was pretty mad about that crab. But it was interesting. It was like a monster. It was like a monster crab. And I swear those legs must have been 10 feet long, at least 10 feet. And I'm not lying. They had to have been long, because they reached in just into the living room where the door leads in from the kitchen to the living room. And the the kitchen table was up against the wall. So that leg, the body hanging off those legs must have been at least 7 feet at the very least, right? And that's not a lie, because I don't even lie. And I clearly remember this crab, this king crab, that its body took up the whole size of the kitchen table, and those legs, and it oozed. And I remember my dad planted, he went and he planted, let me fix that. He went and I kicked it with my foot. He went and he planted the crab in the garden. He planted the crab in the garden. And that summer we had all the cats and all the dogs digging in the garden. Oh, my mom was so mad, right? Because that was her vegetable garden and everything. But she couldn't plant anything because every animal in the neighborhood wanted to hang out in the backyard, right? But why was I talking about that king crab? Oh, about my dad having a really good job, right? Oh, that's pretty good that I came back to it like that. Yeah. So my dad always brought in good money. Like he always brought in good money. But the thing is, he was such a gambler, right? Like he was such a gambler that he would blow it. And even with us kids, like when lots of times, like I said, we did those Sunday outings and Sunday drives. Lots of times they wouldn't be a drive, they would be an outing where we would go to the horse races. At least once or twice a month we went to the horse races, because I remember also, because my dad would get us after each race and people would throw their tickets away, he would get us to go and collect all the tickets off the ground, and then my mother would check the numbers. And sometimes we'd get big winners, because lots of times they would put a call on the race, right? They would put a call on the race, and somebody else would have won that race, right? So yeah, my dad used to send all 4 of us girls, and he would make it like a big game. And lots of times we'd end up going home and being able to stop somewhere school for ice cream, or, pick up a case of pop or something. Yeah, lots of times. So yeah, and then when my dad wasn't fishing, my dad was driving cab, and he had his own cabs, right? So my dad was making really, really good money. I think at a couple of times he had a couple of cabs, and he had people working for him and stuff, right? So, and the only times actually we saw our dad, because my dad always worked the night shift, he would come home for dinner for a half an hour. Mom would make him dinner, and he'd come home for dinner, and we get to go to the cab and put our hands behind the seats in the cab, and we'd pull out any loose change just so we could get comic books and stuff. And then we'd see our dads when he'd get up, in the middle of the day, when he'd have to get up to go for a pee or something, right? You see him crossing the hallway or something. But other than that, we didn't see much of our dads, right? So that's why he made a big point of making sure that we got a big chunk every time he was home. Like lots of times, like he'd go away for months at a time. So, but when he was home, every week there was a big chunk of time set aside for the kids and for his wife, right? And also every day, there was a 5-minute, let's talk about school, let's talk about what's going on in your life. Let's have an in-depth conversation about something, right? Okay, let me check out some of these comments here. That's funny, Melvin. I was just reading your comment there, your last one. I agree with you there, Andrew, right? A lot of times we get addicted because of the medication that is prescribed for you. And that could actually do you quite a bit of damage. I attribute to my mother passing away. Okay, Jonathan, we'll see you in a few. I attribute the fact that my mother passed away to all those coatings on all those medications that she was taking. But she was on a lot of trials. My mother had 12 different kinds of rheumatoid arthritis, right? Her hands were locked. Her hands were in fists. Oh, look what I did. I'm doing a medallion, and by the second, it's all coming off my hands by the second. But it's a henna. It's an abundance henna that I'm doing. It's just a mess. But I'm doing it for fun, and we'll see what it looks like when it's done. It doesn't look like much now. Probably won't look like much other than a cigarette stain. But yeah, every time I touch anything, it just keeps dropping off, right? But yeah, people do get addicted to their medications, don't they? And did you get a good TV? And did you get a good price, Melvin? Did you get a good price on your TV? See, I haven't had a TV in it's been a few years. It's yeah, I'm sure if I go back to my lives and stuff and take a look at some of my posts, I can figure out when I actually gave up TV, but it's at least a couple of years for sure, right? And I don't miss my TV in the least. I don't miss my TV in the least. Whatever I want to watch, I can watch it online. And actually not having TV, it stops me from watching things that aren't good for me, right? So right now, all I'm doing is I'm watching mindfulness videos. I'm watching videos on mindfulness and my mindset, right? And my entrepreneurship and studying things that will move me forward as I'm working in social media. I'm putting my stuff out there, right? But then I also watch my metal detecting videos, right? I watch my metal detecting videos. I watched a really good one this week, you guys. It was called a snow sled, no, a dog sled experience. If you Google a dog sled experience, oh my gosh, it was absolute. Andrew, you would love it. And what it was kind of a virtual 2 hour or over an hour anyway of an excursion, of an adventure with a dog sled, and the camera's set up so you're like the driver of the dog sled. And it was in a valley with beautiful mountains in winter, right? Maybe it was maybe a frozen lake or something, but yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. I watched that for like an hour and a half, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I found it to be very, very relaxing too, right? I found it to be very, very relaxing. Wow. 55 inches. That's a huge TV, Melvin. 55 inches. That's a nice, decent size. $700. Wow. That's a lot of money, right? That's a lot. That's a whole paycheck for me, right? That's a whole paycheck for me. More than a whole paycheck for me, actually, if I think about it. But if I think about it, of the little things that I'm picking up to put away, right, to sell later, I could be increasing my wage by quite a bit. I don't think I not by double for sure. Maybe by a quarter, right, every month. So that so I do have to increase it a little bit more. But as I get back to work and stuff, I will make sure I'll pick up speed, and I have a better eye, because every day I make it a point of going in and checking out items, and collectibles, pottery, glass, right? There's a few people that I'm learning that from, right? And yeah, so I'll have a better eye for picking up these things that will make me some good money. I found some really, really good ones, like I said, right? Some of these items that I picked up turned out to be quite well valuable compared to what I paid for them, right? Because I only paid $5 for this Inuit picture. And thank you for doing that little bit of research. It took you like 5 minutes to get me that information, Andrew. I can't believe how fast I can't believe I can't believe how fast you grabbed that information for me. But yeah, you were 100% right. And that's why the whale has a different kind of look than the Haida actually painted. This one kind of has more of a cartoonish kind of look at it. But I sure would like to know what the meaning of the symbolism is, right? Obviously, it's got something to do with the sunrise and the sunset, right? And with the whale jumping out of the water, right, in between the sunset and the sunrise, right? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I know there's a lot of long hair going on. I don't know if Jonathan is back yet, but I would like to know if Jonathan's curly long hair is back already or if he's keeping it short, right? Uh, Jonathan was actually a gentleman who actually came through with me in my mentorship program when I was involved with the mentorship program with, right? At EMP. So yeah, so he joined in and he's been keeping up with me on Instagram and keeping up with me here on YouTube. And you know what? I think that's absolutely amazing. Yeah, he just took off for a minute, Owen, to go and do something. He said he would be right back. But how's Owen doing tonight? Yeah, you need a haircut. Owen, do you need a haircut or do you like to wear your hair long? Right? Lots of guys like to wear their hair long. I know if I was a guy that I would probably just use the razor and I would just keep my hair short all the time. I would just buzz it right off. Whenever it got too long, I would just buzz my entire head off. As a guy, you can do that, right? I don't understand why men don't do that to their chests and stuff because men do like to shave their chest, but maybe those electric shavers don't get close enough to get all the hairs off the chest, or maybe it's too itchy, right? Or maybe they get pimples or something if they try and shave their chest. But I know the wrestler are not the wrestlers, the weightlifters, they shave their chests, right? They shave their chests. Mm. Okay, okay. I know myself. I like nice curly long hair on guys. I do like nice curly long hair. But I like mustaches too. And November is like one of my favorite times, right? It keeps me cheery when things cuz November is actually a hard time for me emotionally when winter sets in and things get kind of dark and gray and dreary like that. I usually my feelings come down. It's an in between time for me, right? And I usually feel pretty down in November. But I was actually thinking that how much I enjoyed November because the guys all wear those mustaches for cancer, right? They all grow their mustaches, but now with the coronavirus and everything, nobody's making the point. A few people who are online and stuff do, but on the norm, nobody's taking part in that. So I guess that's going to be hurting in the donation when it comes to cancer care this month. So maybe I should shoot out there, right? Don't forget the cancer people. I mean, they can't even, right? Now I'm actually thinking the solicitors that actually do, like, Diabetes Association and Heart and Stroke, all those people that go and do door to door campaigns and stuff, right? That they're not getting the donations. But mind you, they know that people are home because we have the lockdown and stuff. So they do know that people are at home. So maybe they're making more donations because they're able to, right? Because people, the coronavirus, like even me, right? If you're a religious person, you're lighting an extra candle for the people who are getting sick with the coronavirus, right? You know, but regular people, if you're superstitious, you're sending out blessings and stuff like this. If you're super religious, maybe you're praying, right? Oh, okay, okay. So having a shave every day would have been mandatory. Sour gas plant. Did you breathe that stuff in, Melvin? Did was there stuff that you could like, was that like, because I know what gasoline smells like, because I really like the smell of gasoline. Again, certain things, like I have pica too. That's why I take my multivitamins. Oh, I happened onto a new condition that might be relatable to me. It's called, I didn't even know, right? I'm not going to give myself diseases and stuff if I don't have diseases. But I have a funny trait, right? Look at my baby fingers, right? Look at my baby fingers, how my baby fingers are totally straight, right? They're totally straight. I have hurt them a couple of times, a little bent because I hurt them, but they're turned inside. I'm pushing them as straight as I can push them right now. But see how they're turned inside? See, you get a better look at them that way. You can see how they're kind of turned inside. That is a common trait for an illness called Williamson disease. I just found it last night, so I actually haven't had a chance to look into it or not. But I'm going to write it down here in my notebook so that I know tonight not to forget. This is something I wanted to look into because it's a hereditary it's a hereditary disease. And what it does is you're missing a gene. You miss a gene, right? And when you miss this gene, it gives you a lot of symptoms. And one of the symptoms is that your baby fingers go inside, right? That you can't make them straight. And then there were a whole bunch of other symptoms. And I looked at that and I said, I do have those baby finger traits. And then I looked at the other symptoms. I said, well, it's possible. I mean, I practice mindset, but maybe. So I made a mental note to actually take a look at it. And because I trust what Google and YouTube throw across my table, right? What content is being thrown across my table, they're getting to know me pretty good, that they're probably starting to get a good grasp on things that maybe I can work on myself to make myself a little bit better. And I have to use my intuition when these kind of topics come across the table. Well, why did they send me this video? Why did they send me this article? And I think it was articles that I was taking a quick peek at, and I was looking at something else, but it kind of, when I heard the name Williams disease, I kind of actually jumped in and I kind of took a look and I said, oh, okay, well, this is possible. I mean, this is possible. I didn't realize I had any diseases. I mean, I've never broken a bone. I've never had a headache. I've never had a bleeding nose. I did have chicken pox and I did have the measles as a baby. What else? Oh, I had the shingles. I had the shingles when I was in the 40s. I keep forgetting that one. I had the shingles when I was in the 40s because of the chicken pox, right? Because 50% of people who get chicken pox will get shingles. If you don't know what shingles is, if you had chicken pox as a child, you have a 50% chance of getting something that's called shingles. Shingles is a very, very painful long-term condition. It lasts for quite a while, and it initiates with a really searing, hot, like a knife scraping the skin off your body kind of pain. It's a pain that you recognize as no other pain that you've experienced. That's one thing I knew, because I remember I started researching the pain right away because it was interfering, because it was on my back, right? It was interfering with me sleeping. I had to find certain ways to be able to sleep, and I couldn't sleep really well. I don't know how many of you people out there actually have had shingles. But shingles, it starts off with a searing pain, and it can go for many, like 10 days, 2 weeks, and you'll have this pain. And it's just, the pain gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And then what follows the pain is a line rash. It'll come in a line. It'll come in a line anywheres on your body. Shingles can appear anywheres on your body. I had mine on the back. But people get them on their boobs, people get them on their face, people get them on their bums, their legs, right? Your feet, right? So I got mine on my back. So it was a kind of in a spot too where I couldn't reach without 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 some real effort. And when I actually went to the doctor to get the cream for it, I actually had to use one of those spatulas that you do for making chocolate cakes and stuff like that. I had to like stick my hand in the cream, and I had to use the spatula to apply the cream onto my back. And thank goodness, because I Googled the pain and everything, and shingles popped up right away, but I didn't have that rash, right? I didn't have the rash. So I just brushed off shingles off as a possibility as to what was going on with me, what was wrong with me, right? But then after about 2 weeks, because every day I would look on my back, right? Look for a rash, look for something, because I could feel the pain. There was something there for sure. And it was just under the surface. It wasn't in the bones. It wasn't in the muscles. It was just under the surface, right? But I couldn't see anything. And then one day I woke up and I looked in the mirror, and sure enough, there was a white line. It was about this long and about that wide across my back, a pink rash, and I knew I had shingles. So I immediately went to the walk-in clinic, and he confirmed it immediately, and he gave me a cream. I got that cream within 24 hours. Less than 24 hours of having the rash, because I had my eyes open for the rash, even though I thought I didn't have shingles. I knew it was a possibility, and I knew I was looking for a rash, right? So as soon as that rash appeared and it was a straight line, I knew for sure that I had shingles, right? Yeah, Andrew, shingles is terrible. Shingles is really, really, really excruciating pain, right? Especially if you don't know what it is, if you don't know, right? But you'll know what it is. That pain can come anywheres, and it's right under the surface of your skin, so you can tell that it's a different kind of pain, right? It almost feels like they poured battery acid onto your arm or something like that, right? But that pain is continuous, but you don't see anything. And that pain can continue, and it's desperate pain, because that desperate pain made it so I stayed up at night. It made it so I did research as to what was wrong with me and everything. And I'm a true believer that pain is a true indicator of wants to get your attention. Like, hey, this is something wrong, right? You need to go to the doctor and have it checked out. It's your body talking to you, right? You got to listen to your body. I'm a true believer. You got to listen to your body. And if you're listening to your body will tell you what it needs, right? Right? I'm just so grateful that I don't normally suffer from things. But when I do, I get on it right away, and I have no problem. I put full faith in the doctors. I know I live in Canada. I have that privilege of being in Manitoba and getting free grateful. And I'm grateful for my free medical, right? I'm grateful, and we contribute to the taxes, but I'm not contributing that to the taxes. I get refunds at income tax return. I don't pay out taxes. So it's somebody else paying for that privilege of me being able to go to the doctors and have these things checked out. But yes, I did have a few things, right? So, and also my feet went on me for 11 months, right? Because I went and I got a flu shot, and it gave me inflammation in the tendons of my feet, right? From the concrete floors. It just magnified that situation. So it became an unbearable pain for 11 months. And then what do? I had a suspicion that it was my flu shot. So I didn't have a flu shot again for about 4 years. And then after about 4 years, I decided to get the flu shot again, because they were coming to work and we were getting them for free. So I went and I got the flu shot again. And then the very next day, the exact same thing happened to me that happened previously when I got the flu shot, except this time it was in my arm, right? So I told my doctor, when he told me to get the flu shot, I told him what happened. And he says, okay, Cindy, you're not a candidate for the flu shot. So the flu shots are well underway right now, but I'm not getting a flu shot, right? I'm not getting a flu shot because it will cause me more issues. And it doesn't matter. It might protect me from dying. But if you give me a flu shot, I'm going to be no good to help myself move around or anything, because that last time, well, not the last time, the last time was manageable. It was in my arm, and it was in my left arm, so it wasn't really interfering with anything except that it was very painful. And that one lasted for 9 months. And there wasn't any real exercises I could do for that arm except for lifting groceries and stuff like that. With my feet, I was rolling soup cans under my feet. I was rolling tennis balls. I was rolling golf balls, and that helped in my healing of my feet, right? That helped in my healing. But yeah, it does something inflammation with the tendons, and especially somebody who's dehydrated, right? So I'm having to drink a lot of fluids right now, right? I'm drinking a lot of fluids right now. But yeah. Right. Just go straight to the doctor, because that's your body telling you, trying to get your attention to say that something's wrong, right? And that's exactly, I'm just trying to find a spot for this. I'm trying to take better care of myself, so I brought my I brought my, that's my packing tape, but I brought my little container here that I keep all my vitamins in so that I can periodically take vitamins. But going back to this conversation about this illness, this disease that I found, Williamson's disease, the reason it's so important for me to diagnose this and to kind of check this out to see if this is a possibility for me is that people with Williams disease are not supposed to take vitamin D3, and they're not supposed to take calcium. And I take both, right? But it would also explain to me with the Williams disease, it would explain to me why I'm having problems with dairy, right? Because there's tons of vitamin D in dairy. Oh, now there's something for me to chomp on too, right? It kind of adds to the evidence of, right, I didn't think I had any disease, but it's only a blood test and they'll be able to check. So I guess I could go to the doctor and have them check out, right? Especially after doing a little bit more research and seeing if maybe some of those other symptoms are actually pertinent to what's going on in my life too, right? Yeah, so those are the symptoms, right? A rash that goes in a straight line and it can appear anywheres on your body. So God forbid if this lands on your face, because it's you can't help but touch it, right? If I could have reached my rash, I would have been all over it. I would have been, well, it's not so much itchy in the beginning because it oozes, right? Because the sores break open and it oozes the infection, right? But it's a bad thing. It was, yeah, but I was very lucky. The cream worked right away. The drugs worked right away, and it stopped the pain, and it stopped the spread of the virus. So the rash didn't get any bigger than it did, right? So it stopped it in its tracks. So I was pleased with that. It lasted for about 2 months. I had it for about 2 months. So it takes a couple of times or a couple of months for it to get better once the rash actually surfaces. That's if you treat it right away. And they actually say that it can come back again, that you can catch it a second time. So yeah, keep my eyes open. I know the symptoms. I know the feeling now if it comes back. But yeah, if you've had chicken pox, 50%, that's pretty high. So, just that little information that I gave you there, like if you get the shingles, then maybe you would find it helpful, right? Just reading some of these comments here. But it's nice to see you here. Oh, and I was actually thinking about you yesterday or last night. There was a lesson I was taking, and I thought of you, and I thought, oh, he would be so good at that. He would be so good at that. How are you been doing, Owen? How you been doing? How is your mom doing? And how are you managing at home with your mom? Right? I guess you're spending quite a big chunk of your day with your mom, right? But yeah, today I just spent it was just me and my cat today. Yeah, it was just me, just me, my cat, and I only went in to play with her a couple of times, and I did a couple of lives today on Instagram. I'm trying to be more active online, right? Again, just trying to push my brand out there a little bit, right? I explore the inside, I explore the outside, and yeah, it was nice to take a break tonight to come on to YouTube, right? It was nice to take a break to come on to YouTube. And remember I said Wednesday that I might, and the only reason I remembered today was Wednesday is because Wednesday is my metal detecting video day. It's the day that my metal detecting videos get released, right? And Quarter Hoarder had a really good video today. Yeah, Quarter Hoarder did a really good job. I like Quarter Hoarder. I like Stealth Diggers. And they also have their second channel. It's You're Not Thursday. And then I also like Hoover Boys, right? I like Hoover Boys. And then I have a bottle digging channel, which is archaeology, 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 archaeology adventures. That's his channel. And then my girlfriend there, Kathy, she's got her channel too, right? With her bottle digging. And who else? There's a couple of guys that I watch for bottle digging. And plus my bottle digs, if you don't know, these are the bottles that I got this summer while I was bottle digging. So exciting. All my old medicines, right? They're not very clean, but maybe Kathy, if she comes in and watches this live later on, she could let me know of a good tip. I used bleach and I used um, what do you call that? Ear cleaners, the little puffs, Q-tips, and I used bleach and I used dish soap, but I didn't do a very good job, right? This is a beer bottle from the late 1800s, right? They look more like today's bottles than, because remember the stubbies? We had the stubbies, but the glass is so heavy. This is about the weight. This is about, and I'm not joking, this is about the weight of 3 pop bottles, maybe even 4 pop bottles. That's how heavy that is, right? And then I have these two medicines too, right? I have these two medicines, and they've got writing on the sides. Do this one have writing? Maybe this one doesn't have writing, but this one does. This one has writing along the sides here. It says Winnipeg and something like that. But aren't those cool? Like my own bottle dig right across from the fort. Like, who gets to do that? Like, who gets to do that? How come nobody else ever thought of doing it? I had my own archaeological dig right across from Lower Fort Garry, Upper Fort Garry, right? And then I have this one. This one's actually from New York, this bottle, right? I don't know what it is, if it's an old Pepto-Bismol or maybe it's something, but it's a nice piece of amber glass and stuff. Yeah. But I'm pretty excited. And then my hutch, I gave it to my work so they can do they're going to do a Winnipeg. They're going to do a Winnipeg auction. So I donated it so they could do their auctions, right? But yeah, I like my bottles. I had a lot of fun. I was pretty excited. I had a lot of fun. It gave me a great amount of joy to go off bottle digging by myself. You know what? I would just love to go just even right now with just flashlights or my lanterns and stuff. But it's the snow, right? The snow is here and we are trapped till the end of March. End of March. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Did you guys have turkeys? Did you have a turkey day? Now, vinegar, I never tried vinegar, Owen or Andrew. I'll try vinegar. Oh, but I said on Sunday because of the coronavirus and because I'm not working right now, right? So there's no reason why I can't do another live, right? On Wednesdays. Yeah, Owen, if you ever get out this way, Owen, right? You ever get out this way, well, I'll definitely take you bottle digging. Kathy's gonna come out here to Winnipeg, and me and her are gonna go bottle digging for sure. Kathy's gonna come out here, and I plan on getting my 2021 Jeep Rubicon, right? And I'm going to be on the road, and when I'm on the road, I'm on the road for good. I don't want I yeah, I'm just going to go on a road and I'm just going to go exploring. I am going to go to workshops and seminars. I'm going to work my digital media. I'm just going to keep showing my journey, but I'm just going to be adding more to the adventure. I'm just going to make it more fun for everybody, right? For everybody, including me, right? So I have these dreams. But of course I realize I've got to work too, right? But hopefully I can get a job in marketing or in social media. Maybe my own brand will take off. Maybe, digging for crystals and selling crystals, right? And I can always buy ads against my channel and stuff like that and let my channel take off that way. But I have to build up some kind of little business before I do something like that. And I also want to better position myself with the content that I'm putting out there too. Some at least one or at least two really good adventures that I know that I had properly edited and everything that I know for sure that will take off. It wouldn't take much, right? And then I would just push the advertising towards my video. But I think I could do one. If I could do like the Churchill one with the polar bears, if I could take a road trip up to the Paw and then take the Hudson Bay Rail up to Churchill, and then I'm able to go into the tundra buggy and go with the polar bears and go see the polar bears and take some amazing video and amazing photographs of the polar bears, right? And if I could do it later on in the winter, even, and then somehow be able to, well, I suppose I could if I was rich enough, I could rent a plane, right? And then the plane could, at the very least, fly over the fort, right? Because I couldn't get up that far to Hudson Bay and not go to the fort. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I would have to, right? It's all about the history for me, being in touch with the nature. I have the best interests. I'm really happy, right? I'm not giving up the things I love. I love history. I love my exploring. I love exploring nature. I love exploring my abandoned houses and my abandoned farms, right? I love the adventures, the backroad adventures that I go on. I love doing my mindset and my mindfulness and doing my lives and sharing that all with everybody. I love sharing the journey. I love sharing what I'm doing, right? Because I want to see some successes in my life, and I want people out there to see what's possible if they set their mind to it too, right? It can't all be miseries. And at the same time, right, to have all those miseries and all those pressures on you and to be able to keep it all together, right? To be able to keep it all together, right? Without letting it take me down, right? Without letting it take me down. Well, tell us some of those stories, Melvin, right? Tell us some of those stories with the polar bears, because I'm so excited about seeing them. But yeah, I can imagine that they are very, very dangerous. If you came into sight of a polar bear, you would be done. They are so fast, right? They are so fast. They got such great noses, and at the same time, food is food, right? And what a great way to get revenge on something that's been hunting them by hunting us, right? But yeah, I would love to know some of those crazy stories that you have. hopefully not involving you that put you in a dangerous situation. But yeah, I would love to do that adventure. And I actually sent Kathy, right, Sassy Nichols. Actually sent her a catalog of that adventure so that, if something ever did hit, right, that me and her, we could plan on taking this trip. I know who's out there with me. I know who's been supporting me along the ways. And I think of these things, when I'm down and stuff, I have a great imagination. And I think, when I'm feeling grateful, I think, what would I like to do? If there was a way for me to say thank you, right? If there was a way for me to say thank you for this person, as much as I know their story and what they like and what they don't like, what would be the gift for them, right? And I think this way. And Kathy, I right away said, if I go on that Churchill trip, I'm going with Kathy. Kathy, me and Kathy are going on that Churchill trip for sure, right? I don't know who likes crystals out there, but I'm digging for crystals this summer. Guaranteed, I'm going digging for crystals. I've been watching a lot of crystal videos out there. I think as a business, I could do very, very well considering the industry that I'm in. I could do very well with crystals. And on top of that, I don't even have to be in the crystal business myself. Well, I'd be in the crystal business, but it would be somebody else's mine, and I could buy crystals off of them if they gave me those crystals at a good price. But because I have other goals, because I have visions for my life, and because, moving forward, I do have visions, and there are other things that I would want to do with that land, right? Like I would want to build my my nature retreat, my abundance and mindfulness retreat there, right? And I want to have great big auditoriums, and I would want to have cabins all over the place. And all that stuff takes a ton of money, right? It might not ever happen, and that's the whole point, right? Like it may never ever ever happen, but I'm going to continue for the rest of my life just working towards those goals because it just inches me forward, and it's good practice for me to keep moving forward, right? And it's a big goal, but I have little goals too. And if those little goals start kicking in, right, that will build momentum. So maybe some of my bigger goals will kick in too. And that's the way I figure it, right? That's the way I figure it. But everybody, I just wanted to pop in live. I said I would pop in live for a little while. We won't go for we're only 25 minutes away, but I think an hour is a good time for a live, right? I just wanted to check in, make sure everybody's doing good. If anybody has had any miracles going on in their life, right? Anything good going on happening during the week. Andrew, yeah, I'm really quite touched by your abundance of kindness. You have an amazing heart. And yeah, my wish for you is that comes back to you 100-fold, right? That you spread your sunshine out like that, like that amazing light that comes out of your soul. It spreads far and it spreads wide. And I am so grateful to have you on my team. I am so grateful to be able to call you friend Andrew. Andrew did quite a big kindness for Nancy. I know you didn't do it out of expectations or anything like that, but Nancy was in a big bind. She was losing her phone. She was losing her internet, right? And she had gone through so much, right? She had gone through so much this winter. And for Owen to help her out like that. And so she got two pieces of good news this week, right? She got to keep her apartment, right? The judge told the people that they can't shut her building down, not until at least this pandemic is over. So she's very grateful. She's got a roof over her head, and at the same time, she got a little miracle. Andrew, you made her smile. She bawled her eyes out. She said she couldn't believe it. She just said she kept looking at it and looking at it. She kept saying she couldn't believe it. And then when she went, she checked and she said she just bawled her eyes out. She couldn't believe the kindnesses out there, right? Yeah. Nancy's a good one. Nancy's a good one to throw kindnesses out there for, right? She really does. She puts a lot of sunshine out there, just like all of you guys do, right? Like all of you guys do. And we all try to, all of us, me included, right? I'm going to include myself in that equation because I don't toot my own horn when it comes to, well, I guess I do, but I don't do it in the way of, in a braggish kind of way but in a way to show people look at, I've gone through this too, like exactly what you've gone through, I've gone through, just to leave myself open and be genuine like that. Because if it connects with somebody, maybe they'll DM me and maybe we could help to work their problems through. And that's why I do that, right? Right. Oh, and very kind. Like I have the greatest crew on my channel ever. Like I brag about you guys all the time on Instagram, right? All the time I do. But anyway, I just popped on to say live. It is time for a hot cup of coffee and to clean my desk and my messy abundance medallion on the palm of my hand that I decided to try. I got a henna kit from work. I think I paid like 50 cents for it or something. It was brand new and I tried it out. But yeah, here it is right here. It had stencils. It had stencils and everything, right? But yeah, stencils didn't work for me. So I just played around with it on my own. But we'll see. I'll show you guys on Sunday what it looks like because it's supposed to stay for weeks, but we'll see. We'll see about that. Okay, everybody, you guys have a great week and we'll see you on Sunday night, okay? Bye-bye.